Yandani, Yandani, Nuganu, Yajula, Malgana, Dura, Katar Guru, Yani, Wanga Tunaru, Nganija Mandarinu Inda Wala Wujanu Inda Yajla Jina Mana Barija Baringa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marika Oakley, Chairperson of the Malgana Aboriginal Corporation. Thank you all for joining us today on this special occasion. Please take your seats so that we can begin the proceedings. I'd like to start today's proceedings by acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land on which we meet, the Malgana people, and pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, for their everlasting strong foundation and footprints that hold the memories, traditions, cultures and hopes for our Malgana people. Please join me in observing a minute's silence to honour those that have passed before us.
Sing it loud. You come a stranger. Now a friend. Tread lightly on this land. And when you come back, come back a friend.
Now I will hand it over to the Federal Court team to conduct the Federal Court hearing.
Ladies and gentlemen, all stand. Federal Court of Australia is now in session. Please be seated.
May it please the Court. Before Your Honour today is a minute of proposed consent determination in respect of the Native Title Determination Application WAD 6236 of 1998, the Malgana application. The proposed determination area covers approximately 28,800 square kilometres in the Gascoyne region of Western Australia and encompasses much of the World Heritage listed area of Shark Bay, including Dirk Hartog Island, the Shark Bay Marine Park, Eagleland Peninsula and the Curran Peninsula, and the town site of Denham. The proposed determination area also comprises several national parks, reserves, unallocated Crown land and numerous past releases. The Malgana traditional laws and customs connect the Malgana people to their country. Pursuant to those traditional laws and customs, the proposed Malgana determination area is, and has been since prior to sovereignty, the traditional country of the Malgana people. Malgana people identify themselves as saltwater or coastal people, reflecting the importance of the waters of Shark Bay to their culture. They hold deep spiritual beliefs associated with their country and continue to pass on strong ecological knowledge of the land and waters to ensure it is looked after for future generations. The Malgana people today are the descendants of one or more of the four Malgana apical ancestors listed in the proposed determination and identify themselves as Malgana and are accepted as such by other Malgana people and have a connection with the land and waters in the determination area, in accordance with the traditional laws acknowledged and the traditional customs observed by the Malgana people. The Malgana people, being the proposed native title holders, have nominated Malgana Aboriginal Corporation to be the Malgana common law holders prescribed body corporate and for the native title to be held in trust. The Malgana Aboriginal Corporation has consented to and accepted that nomination. Today the court sits on Malgana country within the proposed determination area. We pay our respects to the Malgana people and their elders, past, present and emerging. On behalf of the Malgana people, we would like to thank the Federal Court and its staff and all of the parties to the Malgana application and their representatives involved in the consent determination negotiation process. Your Honour, for generations, the Malgana people have been striving for recognition as the traditional owners of their country. The knowledge possessed by the Malgana people demonstrates the existence of a culture and a way of life which is rooted in a traditional pre-sovereignty society and has continued substantially uninterrupted until the present day. It is, in my respectful submission, in all the circumstances appropriate, that Your Honour make the orders consistent with the agreed minute, finally determining and recognising the rights of the Malgana people over their country. On behalf of the Malgana people, I now respectfully move that the Court exercise its power to order and finally recognise the Malgana people's native title rights and interests in the determination area in accordance with the agreed minute of proposed consent determination. Thank you, Your Honour.
The Malgana people now have native title over the determination area covering approximately 28,000 square kilometres of the land and waters roughly around Shark Bay. Congratulations.
If I had my way, I'd just go fishing every day. I'd just looking at these little rocks just out in front of us. We used to run away from school on a low tide and start spearing or parrotfish in them holes there. Come back at lunchtime and bring one in for the school teacher so he wouldn't whack us in the arse with a stick. Well, yeah, it's been a fair old struggle. 20 years is a long time to get something recognised that you knew all along. I was born in the Bay. Worked here for the first 30 years of my life, and this, because country means everything to Aboriginal people, and without country you're nothing. Because growing up we just weren't allowed to speak a language. We did all the hunting and gathering and fishing and all that, but we just weren't allowed to speak language. So this today means everything.
If my mum was here today, I would say good job, old girl, you did a good job here. And I hope she's really, really proud of everybody else who carried on that fight for our native title recognition. I think my mum, Helen McNear, she had a really big part in putting together the case for Malgana native title, along with a lot of other family members and other Malgana community members. And I know that this would be a very proud day for my mum. She'd be very proud to see our Malgana community celebrating and knowing that the future generations are going to be able to be recognised as Malgana people from Malgana country. I think the most special thing for me is just knowing that it's taken a lifetime since '98 my first daughter was born. So it's taken 20 years for all our elders to work really hard to get to this point. And our elders, weren't able to openly acknowledge they were Malgana, weren't able to openly acknowledge that they're Malgana people and this is Malgana country. But for me, the most special thing that I'm really excited about is that my great-great-grandchildren will not only know their Malgana, they'll know their language and their country. And that to me is priceless. We're going to have generations ahead of us that won't have that void in their heart where their country should be. They will have their country in their heart and will carry that through for generations to come.
I think a lot of it for me personally is I spent a lot of my childhood years growing up with my elders, my aunties, my nanas, my great aunties, my uncles, my grandfathers, because I had 4 when I was growing up. And I don't think you intentionally take on their personal stuff, but in spending time with them in country and in general, you tend to absorb some of their emotions, some of their feelings, actually lots of their emotions, whether it be from happiness to the resentment to the angry side of it. And I think that's kind of what makes this day more significant in that aspect, is because I feel like our generation has carried a bit of that for them, and now we can lay that to rest for them also.
Nick Pedrocki, my mum's out of Fossa near Poland. My great-grandma was born in the cave over there with you, and yeah, pretty special place here. Wasn't really good to identify yourself as Aboriginal because of the prospect that you could be taken away, you couldn't talk your language, etc. I didn't know those things at the time. Mum and Dad sort of tried to protect us from that, hence I think that's why we moved around so much in my youth. Very, very important. Again, on a lot of levels, it's a recognition that you know, not just for our Malgana people, it's for all the Aboriginal peoples and a lot of Indigenous peoples around the world. You know, it's a hard fight to go through the whitefella process to get a recognition when really the recognition was already there. But to have that formally acknowledged, it was extremely emotional time. Yeah, I think it's been a long process, and also going through the legislative process of it causes division in many ways. But yeah, it's really important to remember what it was like before that. Like when I came here, everyone was very connected. There were divisions that occurred during the process because of whitefella law and stuff like that, but we hung in there, and I think from here on there's great opportunity now to reconnect with our peoples, become strong like we were and one. And so yeah, it's about finding that common ground and the things that we know are important. Yeah, the acknowledgement that we were the original custodians of this country, and I believe we looked after it, we cared for it. And there's that sense of identity to understand things that have been untold in the past. I've seen it with the young'uns around here, and even with non-Indigenous people, when we do charters, when you talk to them about it, there's this real hunger to know about Indigenous culture, because I think that's something on a global scale that people have lost connection with because of the pace of this world at the moment. And a lot of this ancient wisdom was left behind, and we're just lucky enough to have one of the oldest cultures on earth still in existence here, and shows us that way to move forward for a better world.
Yandani, Yandani, Nuganu, Yajala.
Where's my camera?
Malgana,
You're looking well, sister.
You too.
Yeah. Oh, well, we tried.
But if you're going to go looking, you take us with you.
Yeah, that we were going to go looking, otherwise I'm going to go first.
You can go first.
But I got a lot of good friends in Shark Bay. I was born in 1927, and I want to die here, right? Now you got my history, that's all I know. We don't want to get sunburned. We're now suntan.
I feel very proud. And I just want to say to the young ones or the future generation, always be proud of who you are and where you came from. Always stand proud. Be proud of your country and be proud of who you are. And today is a magnificent day. Beautiful day.
Yandani, Yandani.
Welcome.